Hey y'all, this is Kendra and Blair's videoing from Lazy Ass Acres. We like to come out here in the evening when the sun's going down, it's not so hot. Just walk around the garden, check on everything. And so tonight we just decided we could take y'all along. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the things that are growing in our garden. We'll start with our tomatoes. So these are beefsteak, hybrid beefsteak tomatoes. Those are really good slicers. That's for your good tomato sandwich, biscuits, things like that. These are Amish paste tomatoes. This is a determinate variety, so they'll pretty much ripen pretty close to all the same time. So we'll get a big harvest that we can make sauces and tomato paste and salsa and things like that with. Kept these pretty well pruned, especially from the bottom, to keep good airflow going. And we've got some tomatoes coming on. We've got some really nice looking tomatoes starting to come on. I've got them clipped up so they don't fall over. They can stay growing up tall and keep that good airflow staying healthy. Over here we've got more of the Amish paste tomatoes. I had so many tomato sprouts that I started, so I tried to grow them all against the cattle panel trellis, but I had a bunch, so I just put some tomato cages up to put a few more out. Didn't want to waste any of our seedlings, so we've got some more going, and they've started putting on some tomatoes too. These are Martino Romas, so this is another variety of Roma paste tomatoes. This will be another good canning, preserving tomato. These are much fuller. I have pruned them. They just are they're just so thick and bushy. So I'm having to keep them pinned up and prune them a little more probably tomorrow just to keep that airflow going. We've got some really pretty tomatoes starting to come on. Come out here every night about dark just to look for tomato hornworms. We do everything organic. We do not use pesticides. So I have to come out here in the evening and look for the pests and just pinch them off by hand. So this tomato, I really don't know what it is because it is not one of the plants that was supposed to be planted over here. It just got in the wrong bunch. But these are all cherry tomatoes. As you can see, these vines are just covered up. They are doing so well. These are good for salads, things like that. They're good for snacking on. Because I don't remember what these are. Put tags on everything because I'm terrible about remembering. Okay, so these are an Italian Roma. So this is another Roma. I planted a lot of Romas this year. Last year we had so many slicers that we couldn't hardly keep up with eating them, and then we didn't have as many Romas and as many paste tomatoes. So this year I kind of planted opposite. So we'll get the slicers as they come on. We can eat those fresh. And then hopefully we'll get a large harvest of these Romas and these paste tomatoes all at once so we can spend a couple of days canning and putting up tomatoes. These are our rattlesnake pole beans. These got a little bit of a late start, but I feel like they'll still be okay. They're starting to climb, they're starting to put on some blooms. Normally I just do them on either side of this trampoline frame trellis. This year we put some string trellises in the middle to try to grow a few more. We've got a volunteer just coming up in the middle and I just let it do its thing. Usually I get a good harvest of rattlesnake pole beans. I mean a ton of them. We still have some in the freezer from last year. And then just when I think the vine is dying off and we're done for the year, they'll usually put on a second harvest. Not as much as the first, but usually a good amount. So I'm hoping this year, because we're a little bit late, if we get one good harvest, I'm happy with that. But it's always nice to get that second round. These are our favorite beans because they are so prolific and so tasty. These are some garlic cloves. This is the problem when you mulch with straw. Just keep this in mind. There's a lot of grass growing in there. But there are some garlics in here, garlic cloves and some garlic plants. They're not quite ready to harvest just yet. They haven't put on scapes yet, but hopefully in the next couple of weeks or months we'll be looking at that. And as soon as I harvest these, I'll put in more bulbs and plant some more. I pretty much grow garlic year round. This is our asparagus. I put in some asparagus slips, the big tall ones. I think this is the third year. I just let this be. It takes a long time for asparagus to mature enough to get a good harvest. Lots of female plants in there that have berries that put on, and the berries fall on the ground. So now we've got tons of little baby asparagus plants down here. I'll keep a watch on it. Next year maybe we'll be ready to harvest some. We'll see. I get in there and weed it every now and then, but and mulch it. But beside that, I just let this asparagus do what it does. And hopefully in the next couple of years, maybe in next year, we'll be able to harvest some asparagus. We really like it. It just takes a long time. This is my pepper bed. So these first few rows are sweet peppers. So I've got some bell peppers, some shishito, some sweet banana peppers, just lots of good snacking peppers. I have when you don't want something spicy, you just want something sweet. And then on this side, I have all hot spicy peppers. So I've got some hot banana peppers, some jalapenos, some habanero, some Cuban bell, some Thai spicy peppers. I don't even remember all the varieties of peppers I have in here. I have a lot. Try to have 2 of each variety. They need some water right now. When they get really tall and start falling over, I just use these wooden stakes and actually just some zip ties to tie them up and keep them growing up straight. They're buried pretty deep. They're planted deep. These are seedlings, and they just have really gotten tall. So happy about that. They're looking really good. This is volunteer cowpeas. I did not plant cowpeas here. I did not plant cowpeas anywhere on this side of the property. Last year I planted cowpeas in a totally different area. They did not do well. So I just didn't think anything about them. I thought, whatever, cowpeas just didn't do good. This year, last year some came up. I pulled them out. This year, when these cowpeas started coming up, I just put this little makeshift trellis up here and decided we're just gonna let them do what they do. It's not a lot, so I don't know that we'll get a really big harvest. We might get enough for dinner, or we might get enough to have some seeds for next year and plant them in a better place next year so we can actually really get a good harvest of them. Some people call them black-eyed peas. There's different things people call them, but I actually really like them. I just didn't plan on growing them right here, but we're just going to let them see what they do. We're always cheering on those volunteer plants that seem to come up and do well. So as long as they're not causing any problems, taking over my pepper plants or whatever, we're just gonna let them be. This over here behind us is called a prickly pear cactus. This prickly pear cactus was a cutting that came from my grandmother's prickly pear. I don't remember where she got it. I think this cactus, the original part of this cactus was probably about 50 years old at least. Maybe older than that. My granny just gave us a cutting of it when we moved to this house. I put it out here in this little spot and did not have any clue how big it was going to get, and it has gotten huge and it has spread, and every year we have gotten blooms on it, and we've got these fruits that turn purple. Well, we never did anything with them. We just left them and let them just rot off, or the birds ate them or whatever. So last year we decided to harvest some prickly pear cactus, and we did some research to see how to safely get them, harvest them, and be able to peel them and eat them. And we made prickly pear cactus jelly, and let me tell you, it is so good. So this year we're looking forward to a good harvest of some prickly pear cactus. We take them off using tongs and gloves, then you scorch the prickle things off of them. You have to use a lighter or something hot and burn those off, and then you can cook them and boil them down and then just make jelly with them, and they are so good. It has such a good flavor. So moving on over here, this is my okra. This is Clemson spineless okra. I grow this variety all the time, and you can see there is a little bit of pest stress on it. The beetles have been eating on it a little bit. I come out here a couple of times a day and just pinch them off and squish them in my fingers because it annoys me that they're on there. But we have always had very good success with this variety of okra. These okra stalks will get tall and they will just be covered up in okra. We have some still in the freezer from last year, and I'm looking forward to getting another good crop of okra this year. So we move on around a little bit. I've got some cactus paddles that I've taken some off and started propagating them. If anybody wants any, I can give them some or sell them if somebody wants to try their hand at growing some prickly pear cactus. So this is my corn. This is called Bilicious Sweet Corn. It is a burpee hybrid. I have tried different varieties of sweet corn before, some with minimal success, but this particular variety has done really, really well. We put sweet corn in, and this year I covered it, when I put my seeds in the ground, I covered them with, I had to plant corn 3 times last year because the crows, first they came and picked all my corn seeds out of the ground. So I planted them again, and I thought I protected them. My seedlings got about this tall. I came out, they were all pulled out of the ground with the seed corn eating off the bottom of them. So this year, put the seed corn down and put an insect netting over it until they got probably about this tall, and I felt like they were too tall for the corn, or for the crows to pull them out. And then I put me a fake owl out here, and I feel like, I don't know if it was the cover, the owl, the combination of both, but as you can see, my corn is doing really, really well this year. Last year, after the 3rd time I put it in, it was so late that we didn't really get a good crop of corn last year. So I'm hoping this year to get a better crop. Come out here a couple of times a day and pick the bugs off of it, pick the Japanese beetles and whatever else is on it, causing any kind of destruction in the corn. Sometimes I find ladybugs. I leave the ladybugs because they're actually really good. They eat the aphids, and they'll eat other kind of pests on there that can be detrimental to the crop. So if I see ladybugs, I'll leave them. This is some potatoes that I'm growing. These are Yukon Gold, I believe. I've already harvested a couple of tubs of them. These have got just a little bit longer. I'm gonna let them grow a little more. And then I reuse the tubs to plant some tomato suckers that are on a different video. You'll see those on a different video. And then this is my cucumber. They're coming right along. They're starting to climb, and got lots of blooms under there, so I'm really hoping to get a good cucumber crop. I love cucumbers. I could eat cucumbers every single day. Last year I grew so many cucumbers, and I was giving them to people at work, and they were like, "Don't bring me any more yet. I hadn't finished all the ones you gave me last time." So this time I planted a few less than I planted last year, but I still hope we get a lot of cucumbers. There's a lot of ways you can use cucumbers. So this has been our garden tour for tonight. I know the garden's not huge, but we are very proud of it. It's enough food for us, lasts us all through the year. If you're new to our channel, thank you for joining us. And if you're an old friend, you know, we appreciate you tuning in to watch us, and just hope that you guys will come back. Have a good night. Thank you.